we are gonna get into our first thoughts of Assassin's Creed.
Let's do it.
Do you want to start this or do I start?
Go
this?
for it.
Okay, I start this.
Go for it.
Oh man. So I haven't checked like my amount of time I played, but I think I'm around 6 hours, and I probably spent the first 2 or maybe 3 hours on the first island just because I was just like trying to get used to the game, and I'm only playing this game for the mainline quest, I think, but my problem is like I want to go do the side quest, but like anyways, that's just like me playing the games like and telling you guys how much I've played. I've gotten to what's the first area you go to when you meet the wolf? What's that? Megaris?
Yes.
So I've just gotten there and I'm just like starting to get my feet wet. I've taken out a couple of little outposts and whatnot, but that's like as far as I've gone. But I think I have a lot to say about it already. How do you want to start? You want to start with like the combat or like the like the HUD or not the screens?
Go ahead and start with the combat.
Okay, the combat for me is kind of I'm playing. I like the daggers.
Okay.
The dagger combo. I don't like playing with the heavier weapons. I like being more agile.
Okay.
I guess, and more be able to have the dodging kind of element. Because I find I don't even need a parry honestly most of the time with that. And then when you get that like time dodge, you get the kind of slow down.
Yeah.
So like coming from because the last Assassin's Creed I played was 3, so that's a big jump. That's a huge jump.
So this is your first Assassin's Creed with like the new systems.
Yeah, so the new system obviously coming from Origins,
Right. Yeah.
which kind of like took them into the realm of like a truly RPG kind of I guess game, in a way, right?
Yeah.
Like where it was like
Definitely a huge step in that direction.
yeah, like basically like they were basically like this is an RPG game, okay, guys? Assassin's Creed RPGs now. And
Yeah.
like, okay, all right. I was going to try to play Origins before this, but like I just like never got around to it, unfortunately. And I think Josh didn't even play Origins either. So, but the combat's totally different. I feel like this is more or less like playing. It's not playing. I mean, I felt like when you have like those guys lining up on you, like you're able to just bob and weave. I feel like that's similar. I feel like it feels like okay, that's similar. And how I did it in like 3 and 2, but it just feels like a little bit too easy. Maybe because of the difficulty I'm playing on, because you're like on like the unreasonable difficulty where you're like, you just want to waste your time fighting people. I'm just trying to go up and assassinate people.
That's all I'm trying to do too. That's most of what I do is I'm sneaky.
Yeah. So like getting into combat, I've only really gotten to combat like, I mean, not too much in a way to like I've gotten enough to where I'm like, okay, I gotta hold. I'm mastering this down. The only time I'm really getting into combat where I really enjoy it is going against the mercenaries, with those one-on-ones, or going against like a boss, like killing the Cyclops is kind of fun. But yeah, it's like it's just a little weird. You know, I feel maybe it might be too easy because I've never played Assassin's Creed. I don't think was there an option in 3 or 2 where you can play it at harder difficulty at all?
3, yes. 2, I'm not sure.
Yeah, because I've never played the harder difficulties on any of them. I just played the base one because I just want to play the game, play for the story. And the story so far is like when you find out Cassandra over, because I'm playing as Cassandra, you're playing as Alexios,
right?
And just to see what was different. I'll ask you a question later about that. But like, it just seems a little too easy for me and to grasp it. And like the parrying, it's like kind of similar to what people were talking about with the Spider-Man game, where you only really need to use like one of the skills in a way. You can literally get away probably without using any of the what are those power-ups?
Oh, when you like use the left bumper?
Yeah.
So like the Spartan kick, you can like rip, depending on which ones you've unlocked. I'm not sure which ones you chose, but like the first kind of set are the Spartan kick. You can heal yourself. You can do like the bull rush where you like charge at the guy and you can rip the shield out of his hand. Yeah. Those are like the 4 like starting ones.
Yeah, I used the poison one because I was just like poisoning people.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure if it works really well, but that was the first one I unlocked because I was like, ooh, poison. Like, and then I'm kind of going on that tree. I've only done the 3 arrow ones and then the bull rush one.
Okay.
But yeah, it seems like even if with those, you don't even need to use those to get through the combat for me. From what the difficulty I'm playing at, and I really like cut up. Like once like the leveling is really weird in like the combat in the sense where if you're a guy fighting a guy is similar level to you or like basically base level, like I really don't have any problems. I'm not sure if the difference is the armor. Because I kind of noticed the guys wearing a little bit more armor. Obviously, are a little bit harder to chew up, but I haven't had a problem with that. The assassinations are pretty easy. I think they might have given, I don't know, like the directions and whatnot and how they set you up and how to assassinate people. I think one assassination I held the Y button on accident and it tried to pick him or pickpocket him. I was like, oh crap. And then he's like, hey, what are you doing?
Hi.
Yeah. And then I was like, oh crap. And then the assassinations are pretty cool so far from what I've enjoyed in the killing, I guess. Sophia, my niece, was watching me doing this last night too.
Excellent education for a 2.5-year-old.
Yeah, she was like she actually enjoyed I don't know why she really liked me when I was on the horse.
Okay.
I was like, I don't get this. But she was like, oh, when I killed one guy and I threw him off the balcony. She's like, oh, she's not even 2 yet, which is funny. But yeah, that part. But yeah, I feel like you don't even need to use those abilities at times, even though I really like using them. I unlocked the one where you throw the dagger from like a mile away and then you're right there. I'm like, this makes no sense, but it works because you can combo right off of that. So it's kind of perfect if you got like a 2-man thing going on and then you throw that and then you combo off into the next guy. I can't wait to get unlocked to where you could just combo like on like 6 guys or something like that. Because that's like what I really enjoyed about Assassin's Creed 2 was just going up and just like assassinating like 5 guys just at one time. Yeah,
the double assassination.
Yeah, because it slows down and like that's the only part I like. Like when I'm like, okay, I only wanted to slow down when I assassinate people, but I get the dodging stuff. For me, it's just a little too easy. I'm not sure if it's a little bit harder for you when you dodge or anything like that, or when you parry. Like, what's the benefits? But is it any different from like I don't know? Okay,
combat's exactly the same, except if you get hit, you get wrecked.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the reason why I don't play on the harder difficulties. So I'm just like, I'm a little lazy, but I'm also like, I don't really have time to kill you, dude. Just die already, so I want to listen to a dialogue in a way. But I'm also getting a good experience with the combat. I just like going around assassinating people. Like you've been hearing me last night. Like, oh, I'm gonna get you. Or like I don't know. I sound like the Joker sometimes, or like some like serial killer. Like, oh, this guy has no idea what's coming at him right now.
Yeah.
I've always liked that feeling in this game so far. So I've gotten the combat for me. I'm somewhat satisfied, but somewhat not because like I don't have to do as much.
What do you think of like the world so far, and what do you think of the story so far?
Story, well, like I haven't really got that deep into the story, but the Cassandra side of the story. So my question to you is, are you the baby when you're Alexios? Or
Okay, I see. Okay.
Are you Cassandra? Or no? So you're older then.
So I starting as Alexios, Cassandra is the baby.
Okay, so it's switched.
Which was a little bit disappointing for me when I found I found that Anthony told me that.
Yeah.
I was a little bit disappointed that it wasn't like played from maybe like just a little bit different time period.
Yeah. Because it wouldn't make any sense though if it was.
So do you still have Marcos and like the little girl?
Yeah, but for now,
Oh
Phoebe.
man, that's disappointing. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a little bit disappointing for me.
So it makes, but I mean, it gives you the option, but yeah, it's a little disappointing because I was like she was saying Alexios, and I was like, that's Jacob. But yeah, so that was my question to you is like if that was like the way it went for you, but I guess not. So, but yeah, finding out that like the wolf, like when you actually leave the first island, that's when it gives you the title screen. I was like, God damn, they spent 3 hours on this goddamn island and I finally get the title screen. It was a little disappointing. But yeah, this game, the game's story so far, like when you find out, like, oh dude, that's my dad, like, and then you get the contract to do that. Spoiler alert, it's too bad. But I mean, that's just, that's not, you just find out that. So you don't, you probably have the option probably not to kill him or whatnot, or explain yourself, or where you join the Spartans and you kill the Athenians or whatnot. Who knows? Because it seems like the guy that was visiting is probably Athenian that has put the contract on him because he was wearing blue.
Okay.
So am I spot on that?
I'm not going to answer that question.
Ah, damn it.
You'll figure that out sooner rather than later. So I'm playing this game on Nightmare and exploration mode. So like, are you playing on exploration mode or are you playing on like guided or whatever?
You're playing guided one.
Okay. So Nightmare.
I didn't want to make it too easy.
It's like the same sort of ridiculous hiding that there's kind of always been in Assassin's Creed at this point. Nothing is different about the combat except for the fact that if you like most people most people can 2-hit you. Some things can 1-hit you.
Oh, does.
Or like they just have such a rapid fire attack that like if you get hit once, you're not gonna be able to dodge a second one. So like you're just dead. So that's a little bit frustrating sometimes, just because in the combat there are a few attacks, especially from the bigger enemies and bears as well, that like it tracks so hard even if you jump to the side or whatever. Like the attack tracks, so like it doesn't matter that you jump to the side. So I guess there might be a little bit, just because of how much damage you take, there might be a little bit more emphasis on trying to get that time dodge, so you get the like the slowdown.
So your windows are smaller, basically.
Probably, yeah. Just a little bit.
Or
as far as the world is concerned, I actually feel like this game looks worse than Origins did, which surprises me, because Assassin's Creed Origins is set in Egypt and it's basically a desert. But
you can mess up a desert.
Right, I know, but I thought that this, like being in Greece with like all of the like with that whole setting and like that time period, I thought that they had like a really big opportunity to make this game to like pop, and to me it doesn't.
I think the only
it just feels like Assassin's Creed Origins 2.
The only time it really pops is when they go into the dialogue, really. But then like you see like the voice act, the lips don't match up to the voices, unfortunately.
Yeah, sometimes, yeah.
But yeah, that's the only time it really pops. Like even when you climb up to get the synchronized, it doesn't look. I mean, it looks all right. I'm not like, for me, like I don't ever think the Assassin's Creed games look good. So
okay, does.
But I'm satisfied. I'm not gonna say like it's a video game. Like of course it's not gonna look amazing, but at least I still enjoy it. I still like when I look at Cassandra's face and I look at Connor's face. I'm like Assassin's Creed 3. I'm like they look the same. Like in quality.
It's
like,
probably fair.
I don't, I'm not gonna like. I'm not gonna be a nitpicky on like the graphics for me, but like it looks fine. It looks doable.
I think that they've I like the way that they've kind of made the individual trees for like leveling with your ability points and stuff like that, with like assassin, warrior, and hunter. For like so hunter like mainly being about your bow. Warrior is like open combat. Assassin is like sneaky combat, hiding, stuff like that. What bugs me, I do feel like that it's getting to the point. Well, let me back up just a little bit. When they jumped from Syndicate to Assassin's Creed Origins, there was obviously a huge change in the style of gameplay. There was a couple of systems that they added in Syndicate that were like kind of introducing you more to the RPG leveling. But the combat specifically, it's kind of the same criticism that I have of like The Division, where like you have a gun, but you have to shoot that dude 200 times until he loses all of his health points before he dies. He doesn't just die when you shoot him. That kind of thing. And that's what this feels like. So especially playing on Nightmare difficulty, like it is of almost no benefit to me to sneak around and kill people, because there are probably, especially when you're like clearing camps or attacking like Spartan or Athenian bases or whatever, that like half the people there you can't assassinate. Like you literally can't do enough damage to them to kill them in one hit. So you're forced, no matter, like you could sneak the whole area perfectly. Have you
been up the tree on that, like the assassination thing at all?
Yeah, so like, and I have the first two that like, so I have an extra 30% and then an extra 40% on that. And then I have an ability where if I'm like super sneaky, I can like hold Y behind someone and it does double damage if I can do that. So like I have all of those, and there are still like, I can't kill any of the captains. I can't kill any of like the more heavily armed Spartans or Athenians.
I'm
like,
murdering the captains.
So like anything. So I can't, and because I'm playing on Nightmare, I can't out level anything. Everything levels with me. So like if I go back to the starting island,
it's the same level.
So like I'm level 15 right now. If I were to go back to the island, everyone there would be level 15. So like you can't just like level yourself up and come back and beat it if it's too hard. Like it's just that's the level that it is. It will always be your level.
Yeah, that sounds like it sucks.
So like it's frustrating, because this is supposed to be, at least the origins of this franchise was like super stealth, where like you were desynchronized and you failed quests if you were caught, if you were spotted, and it would like reset you and reload the save, like stuff like that. And now it's got to the point where I literally can't do that. Like I want to try to play this game stealthy, but I get to the point where it's like, okay, there's two captains and a like phalanx dude left, and like now I have to wait for them to get isolated so I don't have to fight two of them in open combat at once. Yeah. And that's a little bit frustrating.
Yeah, the only time I can't really assassinate is on mercenaries, like on the same level as me. but like they barely have any health at the end of that. But maybe if you invest those stats, you should be able to assassinate people.
Probably eventually.
Yeah,
my phone goes off. Right there.
Because like it doesn't make any sense.
I'm just not. I'm not high enough.
Yeah.
I'm not high enough level to continue purchasing in those categories. I have to be level 16 before I can get the last like assassin damage buff, and it's like I'm just like not quite there yet. But yeah, so that's a little bit disappointing. As far as the weapons, recently I've been using the spear a lot just because with the amount of damage that I take for getting hits, I don't like being that close. So I use the spear for the range and just like, just step aside, get a couple of like pokes in.
Yeah.
And like, so I've just because of, I guess, more or less the difficulty, not necessarily like that's the weapon I would choose to use. I think the story so far, at least with the family part of it, has been good. But in the beginning, that I also got this really big, up until that first twist, when you learn like about Nicholas, there was a huge sense of like, I'm just killing people because this guy told me to. Like there's like zero character development for like why I'm all of a sudden an assassin. Like you're friends with Marcos, and like he like gets into debt with this guy on the island, the Cyclops. And so like you have that kind of thing, but like there are some of the quests that you get early on where it's like, why am I even doing this? Like why like in the context of my character am I even doing this?
Until you get the title screen.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, it's not without its flaws. Definitely. This game, like IGN review for example, said that like this was the best Assassin's Creed has ever been. Like I don't know what they're smoking over at IGN, but they should send some over here, because I wish I thought of this game like this, but I just don't. It's starting to push the boundaries. I know Assassin's Creed has never been like a realistic game. The way that you hide from enemies has always been super cheesy, where it's like you're just in this like
I'm in tall grass.
You're in this grass that's like barely tall enough to hide you. It's like, oh, you can't see me anymore. Where'd I go? So like it's always had that sort of thing, and it definitely still does. Like you can literally hide in like a little like 2x2 bush. Yeah. They're like, oh, what?
Where'd it go?
So it has that, but now like in the last game they introduced the like arrow that you can literally fly around as if you're Yondu. Just be like whoop whoop whoop. Let me fly this arrow. So like it's really pushing it for me. You can climb any surface that you want.
That's what I've been saying. I was like, I'm kind of disappointed I can climb up everything.
You can literally just climb anything. You're like, oh, look at that wall. Look at that completely smooth surface. Let me climb that right now.
There's a couple walls of the Megaris, the first like kind of castle little city. Okay. Like there was a difference. Like there was like different sections. So like you had to jump up. So like you totally had to like she couldn't, or for me, my character couldn't climb like that. This like whatever you want to call it, blank wall. Yeah. So she had to like leap up. So like I was like, okay, there's a little bit there, but most of it I was like, eh.
Yeah. So yeah, it's for me, it's just more of what Origins was, kind of just more of the same. It's just super frustrating when you're fighting a mercenary or fighting like a high level dude in a camp or something, and it's literally just this like 5-minute battle of you just like poke, dodge, poke, dodge, poke. You have to like, it takes you like 100 hits to kill a guy.
So you're saying like your bad experience is kind of like more or less on like the difficulty that you started on.
Probably. Yeah. It's compounded by the fact that I can't be higher level than anything. So like every single fight that I get into is exactly this, where it's like I'm just grinding it out, like taking like I'll do like a full like 4 or 5 hit combo and it'll do like 3% damage. So like it's just like I have to sit there and like poke the dude with the spear until he falls over, and like there is no I don't know if you've come up against there's a I forget what they're called, but there's this Spartan unit that has this like it's almost a shield that's almost as tall as he is, and this dude's like huge. Okay. And like so if I press and hold Y, so I'm getting an extra 70% assassin's damage plus whatever my armor buffs are giving me, plus double that if I get like the super sneaky thing where I hold Y, and like I can only take like 30 to 40% of his health with that attack. So like then I can't take his shield from him. It's like I literally have to sit there and just like wait for the perfect thing. So and this is another thing that's always been in Assassin's Creed, where you're basically waiting for your enemy to attack you. And then you just dodge. Right. You either dodge or like in the old Assassin's Creed you would counter, and that's how you would get most of you would just hit like I think it was RB and X or LB and you would literally just like someone would come at you and you'd like slip them and stab them, and then like the next guy and you slip them and stab them. That's
another thing too. I was asking you and Josh, I was like, when do you get the Assassin's Creed blade?
Oh.
Is it even in the game?
I don't think it was in Origins. I'm blanking now.
Yeah, that's why I'm like.
It might not be.
Like this is like kind of like a deal. I was not a deal breaker, but I'm like, oh, dog, I want to like go catch.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't think.
Because that's like for me, that's how like iconic to like the Assassin's Creed games.
I don't think we're gonna get that.
But like, I mean, you have like the spear thing now, or like the end of the
The end. It's like Leonidas' spear.
Yeah. So you get that, and then you also get the sword. So
the Spartan kick thing too is like, it bugs me now because you can literally kick a dude. Like, so I know how Anthony plays this game is he just like lures people to a ledge and then Spartan kicks them off.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's
so
it's
like,
a very much Anthony thing.
So like you don't even have to fight anyone. You just literally just Spartan kick people because you can kick them like 30 yards.
Yeah,
ridiculous.
For context for Anthony in Skyrim like used to load up on like damage on like he used to craft like these bows that were just ridiculous. And when I saw the tree for the hunter, and I was like, I guess Anthony's gonna max out on all those. I was like, this is ridiculous.
He'd have it where it's like he's basically hidden no matter like no one can ever see him even if he's standing right in front of them, and then he gets like ×3 damage for being hidden, and then he has this super powerful bow.
Yeah. And then he's like a dude in Nevada, like in a predator, basically.
Yeah.
Or what's it called? The Wanted. Remember the Wanted at the end? It was like he shot that. I was like, no. I'm talking about he was like in a house and he shot this gun and it went like a mile away, basically.
Yeah.
I was like, this is stupid. What the heck?
Yeah. So anyway, having played the vast majority of Assassin's Creed games that have come out, like except for like a couple of the simultaneous release ones, it's kind of frustrating to see it go from you're desynchronized for not being stealthy to you literally can't be stealthy and finish this. So.
Yeah, and then another thing is I think the Adder the Adamus story gets a lot of bad rep too, unfortunately. But I'm like, that's the point of like why you're in there and whatnot. I feel like they haven't really done that well so far. I mean, I haven't played Origins, so I don't really know much of the main characters on that. So, but I feel like I should have before I was in the Animus. I should have got like maybe like a recap, not a recap, but like some kind of thing. Doriel would have been like, you can just get up and go in a way.
Yeah, it didn't give you any information like for that girl either. That like, so like I gave you I guess a little bit of background. Like she's like on the run from Abstergo because she basically like tried to complete it. She was working on the Bayek like stuff in Egypt, and like she was not supposed to have been. She was told to like stop doing that. She had her own like kind of made up or like her own kind of special animus that she made, or like she made modifications to, and like that's what she was using. And like they ended up coming after her and they like killed the person that was working with her. And so like she's on the run from Abstergo basically, but like they don't give you any of that in the beginning of this game. It's just like her and this doctor or whatever.
Yeah. I'm really glad I didn't do like an animus from like this Assassin's Creed movie, honestly.
They actually know. Most people won't know this because I'm the nerd that one like goes and gets all the question marks on the map, but two, I read like all the emails and like everything when. So like I haven't. What's another thing that's been bugging me is that I haven't been back out of the animus yet.
Yeah. Because
I want to like get into that. I don't even know if there are like little missions to do outside the animus, but so like in Assassin's Creed Origins, I think it's the first time you come out of the animus. If you read all the emails, it actually talks about a prototype animus that is the animus from the movie, is the Assassin's Creed movie.
But I'm just glad that like you don't get an animus like that. And it's like it's like Avatar basically. I was like, okay, I'm fine with this. But yeah. Now let's get into. Oh, actually, before that, let us know in the comments down below. Let us know your first thoughts on the Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I was going to say Origins right now. And let us know if you agree or disagree with us. Let us know your experience so far. Let us know difficulty, which character, either Cassandra or Alexios, and how far you've gotten. If you've already beaten the game, you probably have no life, but it's okay.
Or just playing. What if someone's just playing on easy, just trying to mainline it?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do too.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, I'm playing on like normal. Like I could have picked easy, but I'm like, I should have probably picked easy, but it's what else.
Yeah. It is what it is. You can always change it if you wanted to.
Nah, I'm good. Here we go.
All right, let's do it.
Are going to move on to Jacob's list on the best Assassin's Creed games.
Which is, of course, the final list.
That definitive, undisputed, cannot challenge list. If you can challenge it in the comments down below, that's too bad. You won't have enough evidence to beat this list. I've only played 1, 2, 3, and then this one now. So I've like completely was like, when you told me there was 2 between 2 and 3, and I was like,
Yep.
well, okay, I guess I can't do this. But you were gonna tell us what the definitive list is.
Yes, I am.
So
I'm gonna start from the bottom. First off, I guess a disclaimer. I have not played Assassin's Creed Rogue, and that's the one that came out simultaneously with Black Flag. But it was on the. It's like I traded in my 360 to get my Xbox One. And then when Black Flag came out on Xbox One, they released Assassin's Creed Rogue on Xbox 360. So like I haven't played that one. And I also haven't played Assassin's Creed 3 Liberation, which is the one set in New Orleans, which came out day and date with Assassin's Creed 3.
yes.
So I haven't played those two. But I have played all of the rest of the mainline Assassin's Creed games. So I'm going to start from the bottom. I'm going to start with Assassin's Creed Unity, mainly just because of how badly they botched that game at launch with like the lack of graphics. There were like people were missing their faces. It was literally just like 2 eyeballs and like this weird colored like head.
Sounds like an Ubisoft.
There was
game.
just a lot of problems with that game at launch, and it kind of really tainted it because it took a few weeks really to get that game. There were so many glitches. There were like quest breaking glitches in the early game where like you couldn't complete this thing because like some chariot or like horse and buggy or whatever like ran off somewhere and like you just couldn't complete it now. And you had to like restart.
Was it? I was gonna say. Was the game like launched too early? Is that what it probably looked like? Or
Probably by like just like a month or two.
Oh, okay.
Like it there were just a couple things that like if you had started that game 2 months later, you would have been fine.
Yeah.
But like getting that game on launch, it was really, really rough.
Does.
There was also like co-op missions or whatever, but like you either couldn't connect or like it would just bug out, and like one person would get credit and one person wouldn't, and it was super frustrating. Like I was trying to play it with Josh. We were trying to do all the co-op missions. And that was super frustrating.
But yeah.
So I loved the setting though. Like it was set in like Paris around like the Revolution.
So like,
and it was like this 4-player. There were like
was
up to 4-player co-op.
Lafayette.
Yes, I think so.
Lafayette was in.
Lafayette was in the game.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's sick. Sorry.
So yeah, so Unity is the bottom just because, and for the record, in the rest of this list, like there's a huge gap between Unity and like number 10 and number 9. There's a really big gap there. In like my opinion of these games.
Just because of launch.
Number 9 is Assassin's Creed Syndicate. This was really like the last of the more traditional Assassin's Creed, and like they moved off to like Origins after this. So like they totally changed the system. This was also the last of like the annualized ones too. Well, I guess they annualized Odyssey, but whatever. It was like it had been like every year until Syndicate, basically.
They're not planning on making one next year.
There's
right?
not going to be an Assassin's Creed next year. Yeah.
Yes.
So number 9 is Syndicate. I really enjoyed this game with Jacob and Evie. You can actually get Evie on the Uplay thing to be on your ship in Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which makes no sense because it's like 2,000 years difference, but whatever. Yeah, it's like you can pay like 20 Uplay points and Evie will be a lieutenant on your ship in Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I know.
That makes no sense.
So this one was set in Victorian London. It was like 1880s, 1890s. I really enjoyed you had to basically go around like wrestling back control of each kind of district from this syndicate. That's why it was called Syndicate. It was like this group of people, almost kind of like the head of it was almost kind of like a Moriarty type from like Sherlock Holmes.
Oh, okay.
Sort of thing. That kind of vibe from it, and like that kind of time period.
Holmes?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, I did. So like I really enjoyed the story, and I really enjoyed. That was the first of the mainline ones, I think, where you could play as a woman.
Wasn't it
as
free
well.
to play? I think one time.
It probably had like free to play weekends.
No, like I think it went on like Games for Gold or something like that.
Oh. I'm not sure. I don't remember
I'll
because
think
I bought all of these at launch, so
yeah.
I'm not sure. Number 8 for me is the first one, Assassin's Creed. It's that low only because if you go back now, like you didn't play. You played 1, 2, and 3, right? And then now you've played Odyssey.
One is the one I least remember because I went through it pretty quickly.
Yeah,
and it was so linear too.
The story is cool with Altair and all that, and like that part of it still holds up. But where Assassin's Creed fails now is that you can't do a double assassination. You can only like kill one person at a time. There's no chains or anything. So like you literally have to like you kill someone and you have to completely finish the animation of like laying him down before you can kill the guy next to him. Like that. There's like no fluidity in the combat or anything like that. The story is good. Like I said, it really teaches you how to like sneak around. There was like a bunch of different ways that you could go around like killing your targets. And I really liked you had to like report to the local leader or whatever. He would give you a feather and you have to like get the guys every time you killed someone, you like put the blood on the feather and you had to take the feather back or whatever, that sort of thing.
I enjoyed it because it kind of reintroduced like kids or people at the time to like a stealthy game.
Yeah.
Which weren't really popular. I mean, you had Metal Gear Solid, but
that and like maybe Splinter Cell.
Yeah. So like it was like a really cool way to like give it a different look too, because like you had like it's all shooters,
right? Yeah,
or like not shooters, running like dudes with guns. Like you're basically like a secret agent, but like oh no, you're a secret assassin.
So that game was really a lot of fun, and like the end when you like get back out of the Animus for the last time, and like how if you choose to do all the dialogue options with Lucy, like that game really, it's one of the first games that I remember that like paid off that like paid off to do like everything, like try to like all the every time you exit the Animus, like talk to Lucy every single time and like do that whole conversation. And like at the end with like you could turn on Eagle's vision in like the room they were holding you, and there was like all the writing on the wall and it just like blew your mind. You're like cool, but what doesn't hold up anymore is the gameplay. Like that's why it's so low on this list. I tried to play the remastered one when they did that, and like go back to, or maybe it was when it became backwards compatible or whatever, and like go back to that game and play it after having even just playing 2 and going back to 1. Yeah. That game's rough. It's so slow. That's just why it's so low for me.
The graphics.
It's not even graphics wise.
No, I'm saying like some stupid kid will be like the graphics.
Yeah,
the graphics suck on this game. The graphics.
Moving on, Assassin's Creed Black Flag. This one you're playing as Edward Kenway. This is Connor's grandfather.
Yo ho yo.
This game is very beautiful graphically, but the story is ridiculously predictable, where like the story in real life mirrors the story in the game, where like you end up fighting, well, spoilers I guess for Black Flag, but like you end up fighting.
This game's like 5 years
There's
old.
like this line of people that are, I forget what it's called, but it's like they have like a special ability, and like you're hunting one and like kill one. He's like the head like bad guy, your target through like the whole game. And then like one of his descendants like attacks you in real life at like the end. So it's like it like comes full circle like in both time frames.
What the
sort of thing. So it's like this guy that gets like reincarnated or whatever.
Okay. All right. That makes no sense, but okay.
Anyway, but that game is really gorgeous, and like this is what introduced the naval combat,
And
that all the
game
future
off of this stuff kind of, right?
What?
Aren't they making their own like pirate ship game now?
Oh yeah, Skull and Bones. I don't think that's actually like in the Assassin's Creed universe. I think they're just taking like the ship combat, the combat elements from that. Number 7 is where I have Odyssey. I have it. I'll just jump straight to 6 as well with Origins. I think I have both of these kind of really tied together. To me, they're basically the same game. Like they're just in a different place. The graphics are like
new
big.
skins.
Yeah, it really feels like there's even things that I notice, just like how buildings are set up and how the caves and such are set up, where sometimes it feels like they probably just copied that from, like I bet you could find that exact building in an Origin somewhere, that sort of thing. Like they took all the same properties into this game sort of thing.
I wouldn't be surprised if they took some people from the Far Cry teams and
maybe
threw
that
them
too.
on this game
For like the forest and like
because when I play this game and I'm discovering stuff, or like when I go through things, I'm like, this feels like Far Cry a little bit.
So like, and I also lump these two together just like they're both the like RPG Assassin's Creeds, and I'm really not enjoying those as much as I enjoyed like when Assassin's Creed was in its heyday, like that style of game. I'm just not enjoying the RPG as much. So that takes us to, did I miscount here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 6 and 5. Oh, so yeah, I should have said 6 when I said 7. So 6 and 5 are Odyssey and Origins. Number 4, I have Revelation. This is the third of the Ezio games. Ezio Auditore di Firenze. Really, this one had like a much stronger tie to the AC1 and like Altair storyline, where like you end up in that vault at the end with like Altair's body is like in the chair there with you or whatever. So like it really like it brings that whole circle like from Assassin's Creed 1 to Revelation, like it ties that all together like really well in a way that I really liked anyway. And Ezio is probably the best character. Well, like not probably, like is the best character that Assassin's Creed has ever put out. So yeah, that's why I have it in there.
Which one was in Turkey?
That was Revelation.
Okay.
It was in Istanbul, or well, it is in Istanbul today. It was Constantinople.
Yeah.
At the time.
Which would have been the Ottomans, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, it probably was. I was thinking it could have been like Eastern Roman Empire still.
Byzantines?
Yeah.
Maybe.
I think it was Byzantines, now that I'm thinking about it, but I could be wrong.
No, because he wasn't...
Because Ezio, it was like...
He came from Italy, though.
Yeah.
That was like...
It was probably Italy after the fall of the Roman Empire, but the Eastern Roman Empire was around much longer than that.
Maybe. We'll have to look at that.
Yeah, I'm not actually sure. I don't remember. Number 3, I have Assassin's Creed 3. I have this above Revelations only because I enjoyed the time period a whole lot better, being in like the American Revolution. I also think that this was the first Assassin's Creed where they really started to fine-tune the climbing and the running mechanics. This game was so much like just maneuvering around the map was so much more fluid in this game than it ever was before.
Don't forget the online.
What was online on AC3?
The online multiplayer?
I don't think they had that on AC3.
Yeah, they did.
They had it in 2 and they had it in Revelations.
Yeah, they had it in 3.
Sorry, they had it in Brotherhood and 2 Brotherhood and Revelations. No,
Yeah,
Brotherhood and Revelations.
Because that's the only time I ever played Assassin's Creed online.
That's weird because I don't remember it being... Where were the maps?
It was all of us. We all played that.
What were the maps? Because the only multiplayer I can remember playing was like Italy and Turkey. The maps were all like...
We played 3 for sure. Look it up.
I'm gonna look it up right now.
Yeah, because I remember we were like, there was a docking one where like it's right next to like a bunch of docks, and then like you walk around.
I don't remember it having multiplayer at all. But I just really enjoyed the revolutionary period with like, and then like this game did start to get a little bit weird as well because you had like there were like all these alternate history things with like Benedict Arnold and like George Washington becomes evil with the Apple of Eden. And you had all the like hallucination scenes with the, not like peyote, but like, it was something.
Peyote.
It was something. There were like 3 or 4 different missions where you like summoned a spirit animal and had to like do this whole thing. Assassin's Creed 3 multiplayer. Bum ba da dum. I haven't got to it yet. It doesn't say. It does say single player and multiplayer. But was it like PvP or was it PvE?
Yeah, it's like the one that because you
I
guys
don't remember it. I don't remember that being in this AC3.
Because you and Josh were all hyped up on it, and then I was like, "Oh, dude, I want to get on this." And then like we played.
All right,
like,
sure. I mean, you're right. That's what it says.
Where we had the one where each person had like someone chasing them.
Yeah.
Yeah. See.
Or it was like you had a target and you were the target of someone else.
I never played Revelations or Brotherhood, so.
Okay, I guess that's true. Yeah. So that's why I have number 3 at 3. I guess, and the multiplayer in Revelations too. Well, I'll talk about it in Assassin's Creed 2. So number 2 is Assassin's Creed 2 for me. This was, I think, it was a huge step from the first Assassin's Creed, just as far as the mechanics of the game, the double assassination, how much more fluid the sneaking and assassinating was compared to the first one. Ezio, as I said, was like the best of the...
Was this in Florence or Milan? Florence, right?
Florence was one of the cities.
Milan,
Milan could have been another one.
You went to different cities in
there were like 4 or 5 of them. There were like different places that you could go.
I forgot about that. It's like Dying Light.
Yeah, kind of, I guess. AC2, I'm also someone who's always really enjoyed the modern like Desmond Miles story. And so like AC2, when you like kill the Pope at the end, and then like Juno, you end up like talking to Juno or whatever, and you have the Apple of Eden, and I think it's the end of AC2 where you kill Lucy. They all kind
I
of are like
remember,
blurring
dude.
together to me now.
I don't remember any of these games at the end. I just remember just getting mind effed at the end.
So
of
like
that
you're
one.
holding the apple of Eden, and like Juno is like talking to you, and like controls you, and you like turn and you kill Lucy,
Okay.
and you're like there with the two other people that like run around with you or whatever, and like there's like nothing you can do about it or whatever, and like you're forced to kill her. But AC2 was like what set off. It was like obviously the like first of the 3 Ezio games, and which is like the best peak period of Assassin's Creed that there is, or is the Ezio trilogy, and that takes me to number 1 on the list, which is Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. And this was just like everything that you could ever want in an Assassin's Creed game.
Is it the final one of Ezio or the second?
The Brotherhood is the second one.
Okay.
Revelations is the third one.
Okay.
Revelations, spoiler, like, you haven't played it, but like, spoiler for Revelations, Ezio dies at the end.
Oh yeah, I know.
Okay, just saying.
I knew that one.
So in Brotherhood, this was just like, this was perfect. This was, again, another refinement of the combat mechanics and all of that, tied in with, you had like, you were able to create like a faction of assassins. So you could recruit people and make this like team, and you could send them off and do missions for you. And so like that was a way of earning income and like leveling them up. And then while you're walking around the city, like, so say like I'm Ezio, I'm like hiding or whatever, I'm trying to infiltrate this place, and like you're a guard, I could hit the left bumper, and like one of the people that I trained will like either kill you with a crossbow or like jump down and run to like distract you and run away. Like you had all these different abilities where you could like you had like other people in the city that were helping you, that you were training as assassins. You made like, you became basically like Altair in that you were like the head of an assassin's like group.
Yeah.
And that was that, like, that made the game like just that much better. It was like just really perfect, and I really enjoyed it. And it like, that's when the story with the whole like all the gods and the precursor race and like all these things, and like you find out that there are multiple apples of Eden, and it just like, it hit the next level.
It was like, oh my god, this is like the best dose of LSD ever.
It is a little bit trippy at times. That's true. But yeah, so that is the definitive list of Assassin's Creed.
Definitive list, ladies and gentlemen. Can you knock this man's list down? Let us know in the comments down below. Let us know what your list is as well, and let us know what your favorite Assassin's Creed game is in the comments down below.
Yep.
But yes,